right, awesome. Well, welcome to episode 3. I'm honored to have you on here. Um, I'm quite new, so bear with me if there's any technical difficulties. We'll go through it. Um, like to introduce you and ask you how you got into airsoft, and we'll see where it goes from there.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. My name's Chris Walker. I got into airsoft around 2012. Got into it, kind of fresh into college. Wanted to start getting into new things, new hobbies, meet new people, and I figured it was a good starting point. Kind of started off with I'm mostly a CQB player. I have played on a few open fields, but I feel most at home in a super close quarters environment.
So you're a
Um,
close quarters airsoft player.
yeah, my first gun, it was a super cheap gosh, what's the I don't even remember the brand. It was like a cheap $25 single barrel shotgun. And I remember the first time I took it on the field, I got a lot of flack from using it, but I got a lot of kills. Um, and I've been using shotguns quite a bit, but since moved up to HPA pistols,
And I would
HPA
assume the shotgun
shotguns.
was made of plastic.
It was
Yeah.
100%. It had a really finicky sliding hop up unit, and it did not hold any kind of hop, nothing. But I ended up upgrading a few times, so I got several shotguns now, a lot better.
Well, cool, very good. And you started back in 2012. I would assume like at your local field, or was it like in the backyard with friends
It
initially?
was it was at the local field. My main field was, and kind of still is, Replay Airsoft. It's actually like 5 minutes from where I live now, fortunately.
5 minutes.
So I'm real close.
Huh, that's awesome. That means you can join any game anytime if need
Oh
be.
yeah,
Oh, that's very cool. Unfortunately, me, at least for the moment, about maybe 25-minute drive.
that's
Um,
not terrible.
Here soon, it may be 40 minutes. So
Oh
it just depends on how things go within the next few weeks. So, but hey, I mean, life could be funny sometimes, but as long as you're dedicated enough to reach the airsoft field, I mean, that's all that matters.
yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Um, well, back in 2012, you started off with a shotgun. I mean, just out of curiosity, how long did you had that before you finally upgraded?
Um, I actually, believe it or not, I actually still have that shotgun
You
upstairs in
still
my
have it.
closet. Yeah, just as a memento.
It's fully
Um,
functional.
oh yeah, it still works. For $25, that thing has survived a
Survive and
lot
still
longer than
kicking.
I thought. But I used it for probably 3 months before I upgraded. Um, oh man, I'm forgetting the brand. It was I ended up upgrading to a um triple barrel shotgun around the 75 $85 price range. I think it
Yeah.
was ASG or something like that. But it was pretty good. Had a fixed hop, so it's not something I had to worry about, and not really something you really have to worry about when you're 5 feet from someone, anyways.
5 feet from someone.
Yeah.
Probably even closer than that.
Oh yeah.
So it's especially a CQB. Well, cool. I mean, I started in airsoft quite a long time ago, and I apologize to those listening to the story again because I think I brought this up on the last episode and the episode before that. But I started off back in 2003, and I was in it for a few years. Yeah, if I recall, I got out of it at 2007, so not very long at the time. And that was back in the day when airsoft wasn't really a thing. I mean, it was
Yeah.
mostly paintball, right? And and of course, compared to airsoft back then to now, oh my, drastic difference, drastic improvements. So I mean, back then it was incredibly primitive. I remember back then where everything, at least the ones I handled, were all plastic. I don't recall ever seeing a metal version. I mean, it's and it's just like if I remember correctly, they measured in joules. Or I'm sorry, got that reversed. They measured in feet, not joules, and how they do it today.
Yeah.
So I remember that I think it was like not even 50 feet or right 50 feet. So not very far at all, right? So today, I mean, especially with one of my M4s, it's like 1.5 joules, and it can go up like almost 250 feet, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's a drastic difference, right? And today you have replicas of everything from like rocket launchers to it's
Claymores.
claymores. Yeah, I know, right? It's just crazy, and grenades and of course pistols and AKs, M4s, and all that stuff. I mean, it's just today's a lot more significantly more popular, and also a lot more different versions. I'll just say
Yeah.
that. And of course, back in 2003, 2004, I don't remember having to buy this stuff in a store. I remember ordering this stuff online,
Yeah.
right? So but then again, it could have been just my local area. I mean, because this was back in Kansas at the time.
Yeah.
So it's middle of nowhere anyway. But but that's what I recall. So I can imagine, even if it was 2012, I can imagine you probably observed similar improvements since then until now.
Yeah.
I mean,
The batteries improved, improvements to AEGs, you would see some guns and the it had a stigma of, oh, don't get that gun because it's bad, but
it's
over the
bad.
years they've kind of gotten better. And for the price point, they're pretty doggone good.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, no doubt about that. It's just like even with like because I'm trying to think what I was doing back until on 2012. I know if I remember correctly, I think that was the one when the movie came out, right? Um, was it 2012? I can't remember. It was a movie that was coincidentally in the same time frame, the end of the world type situation.
Mm.
But it's just man, 2012. I think at that time frame, I think I was doing RC helicopters at the time.
Oh
I
boy.
could be mistaken, but I believe that's accurate. But out of curiosity, have you been playing consistently through the years, or did you take breaks, or
Um, I've been playing pretty consistently. I did take a little bit of a break when I had my back injury, but now that my back is pretty good, I've been going back out there and getting my gear back on. Um, but yeah, my kit has changed drastically, like especially with the injuries. Used to have a heavy kind of plate carrier, but now it's more geared towards being light, being able to move quick
which
and
makes
be
sense? Yeah, because
mobile.
the CQP you want to be extremely mobile. Yeah, so you're not wearing something like this essentially,
Not anymore.
this big a heavy thing.
I have a oh man, what is the brand? If I remember the brand, I'll tell you. It's I got it off Amazon for like 30 or 40 bucks. Um oh, and the name just evaded me. I just had it on the tip of my tongue. It's something one, and I think it was the Vulture.
Vulture.
But yeah, it's basically a just a very basic chest rig when you get it in the mail. It's got the cross, like the X strap on the back. But in my case, I have put a drop down pouch up front, so that holds any spare BBs or anything else I might have. I put my phone in there, even though you're really not supposed to, and nothing's happened to it yet. And then I put a flat pack uh, integrated on the back, so I no longer have the cross strap. It's just you put it over. I got a backpack on my back, and it just belts together. And I'll put my HPA tank back there while I got everything else kind of strapped on me.
Nice. Do you classify yourself as a speed softer?
Depends how I feel.
Depends how you feel.
Yeah, a man can only carry his team so much. I'll do it when I'm fresh in the night. And
The
yeah,
only reason why I say that is because I reviewed some of your videos, and it's like I bet this guy classifies himself as a speed softer. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but it's just your playing style is kind of a little bit consistent with that direction.
yeah,
So
sometimes I go quick. I'm winded, I'm tired. I'll kind of go slower and be at a more slower methodical pace, and I'll check my corners, but when I got my energy back, I'm going right back into running.
well, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, I got a couple of your videos here. Do you mind if I share the screen and start showing them?
Oh yeah. Oh, and I remembered that the chest rig I had, it was the one Tigris Vulture, I believe.
Okay. What color was it?
OD green.
Ruby green.
Yeah, one Tigris Vulture chest rig.
All right. Let's see if I can get this video up and going.
Yeah, $50. Not a bad chest rig.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. And it holds everything. Held my Vector mags, my SRSA2 mags, my MP5 mags, pistol mags.
As long as it does what or accomplishes your needs, that's all that
Yeah,
matters.
that's great.
All right, I'm trying to get this going here. Give me a moment.
It's one thing I always tell people though. Get the gear that you want the first time.
All right, can you see the screen?
Yep.
All right, let me know if you can hear the sound.
I hear it.
All right. He's like, "Yep, you got me."
Yeah, he was not calling his hits sometimes.
I can hear what he's saying. He's like, "Damn."
Yeah, that kid, he gave up my position to that guy. Yeah, but that's one thing you come across a lot in that field is people who are renting and stuff like that, or people who are generally a little newer to the sport and don't like getting shot, or they're afraid of getting shot.
Yeah, they're
They
a little
they
bit more
don't push
cautious.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I actually met one of my best friends at Airsoft at that field, and for months we were always up against each other, and we were always the ones canceling each other out because we were
Now,
the only ones on either side actually pushing up consistently. And it got to this point where it's like, why are we fighting each other when we could just be on the same
same
team? And
team.
so he would always be off in one direction. I'd always be off in the other. In that case, in that video, I just spawned, and it's like, all right, the only way I'm going to make it up there is if I go full run towards the front. I know there's a guy up there. So I'm going to see if I can shoot him as I'm running past. And the fact I got a butt shot, that was funny.
Butt shot. You have
Yeah.
that recorded on video?
Yeah, that was in the beginning there. So as I'm coming around the barrels, I kind of got him right in the left cheek.
Yeah, let me see if I can bring that back up again. Give me a second here.
Yeah, that was just before the red sweatshirt guy.
All right, let me know when you see him.
So it's a little choppy in the beginning. It's right here.
There. Oh, okay, I saw it. Right. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so reached around and
I wish
you
you
go
could do it.
frame by frame. You could see the BB impact.
Yeah, I saw that. And you'd be like, it's funny. The reason why I'm bringing or asking you about that is because of course, this is by accident. This is not something I do intentionally, but when I'm behind a corner, or we'll just say underneath the stairs, right? And I'm on a lower angle or a lower position, angling up, right, with my rifle. Of course, by default, when you're in a lower position angling up, in that angle, you have a perfect shot if someone comes around the corner to where you're accidentally hitting them in the butt or you're
Yeah.
accidentally hitting them in the private area. And
Yeah.
I've had that happen multiple times. And again, it's not intentional. It's just the angle where I'm pointing at, if that makes sense. And I posted a few of that on my YouTube channel. So I have a few of those on there. And, again, not to brag about it or anything, and just to indicate that, well, these things happen.
Yeah.
And that's why you got to be, depending on how your playing style, sometimes you kind of be more protective on certain areas, right?
Yeah. You
So
shoot what sticks out.
yeah, exactly. So it's kind of cool seeing, especially you bringing that up. I was like, oh, okay, so I'm not the only one. All right, that makes me feel a little bit better.
No,
So
when I do outdoors, I like sniping. So that
sniping, yeah,
it's a huge change of pace from what I normally do. And what's funny is like I'm full gillied up. No one can see me. And there was one time where we were doing an elimination game. Everyone on my team but me got eliminated, and all these people are looking for me. There's this one guy, I feel sorry for him because every round he would go behind the same tree and he would like peek out one way and his butt would stick out. And I would shoot, I didn't want to shoot him in his exposed hands because I was running zero point 0.4 gram BBs. That would hurt.
going for.
Uh, yeah, so I didn't want to shoot him in his hands or in his neck or anything. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I took the shot. And it got
No,
to the point where he's like, my butt's raw. Stop shooting my
stop,
butt.
stop shooting my butt. Well, I mean,
Sorry.
yeah, I mean, how else could you react to that other than just apologize, especially if you're not doing it intentionally.
Oh, it's better than a
Um,
neck shot.
oh yeah, definitely. So like eh, here, let me show you the video I'm talking about. Give me a second here. Let me share my screen again. Because I shot somebody in the butt. I want to show you an example of what I'm referring to. So can you see
Yeah.
okay, cool. So again, I'm in a lower position, right? So I'm kneeling and the rifle's pointing up, right? It's hard to see from this camera, but it is. It's pointing up. So it's pointing up at an angle,
Yeah.
right? So if you just give it a second, a guy comes by and I immediately open fire. I mean, without hesitation.
Oh.
And he starts laughing. He points to me and he starts laughing. And then after the game, he patted me on the back. He said, "Hey, good shot, man." I'm like, well, that wasn't intentional, And he says, "No, it's okay. I just thought it was hilarious." And because he's fully geared, and I hit him the most vulnerable spot, out of the entire his entire gear set. I hit him in the most
Yeah.
vulnerable spot.
All this protection and you hit the one area that's soft.
Yeah, exactly. And just how he reacted when he got hit, it's like, "Oh, So again, it's not on purpose. I mean, I even hit people on the front end as well, and I have that also on my YouTube channle. But again, not
I've
to
had
make
that
fun of
happen
anybody,
quite a
but
bit.
that happens too. And I had a guy who I was, I could see his shadow, so I know he was coming through the door. So I had about a 2 second warning, right? So of course, at that time, my rifle was pointing down, and when I saw the shadow, I immediately tried to point up, right? And of course, right in that second, between I saw the shadow and I react and I'm pointing the rifle up, he pops around the corner and then I fired without hesitation, and it
Ooh,
just right on his front end,
yeah.
and then he was, I felt bad for the guy. He immediately covered his front end and he was like, complain, well, not complaining, but he was like, what would be the proper word? It's like he was moaning. Maybe that's the
Yeah.
wrong word, but you know what I'm talking
He was
about, right?
feeling it.
Yeah,
I
he was feeling it.
understand. I get
Yeah.
shot there at least once a game.
Yeah. So So, I apologize to the guy. I'm so sorry, man. It's unintentional. And then I apologize again after the game because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't, I wasn't accidentally creating tension, right? So, I try to do these things and just making sure everyone's having fun. And at the end of the day, that's what was my goal with all this, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it happens. And again, that's the only reason why I bring it up is because you brought it up, and I thought, well, cool. I mean, at least I'm not the only guy in the world that encounters these situations. So,
Yeah.
it's
I
kind of
get
cool to hear that.
I get shot there. I hit people in some unfortunate spots. Worst part, I mean, I'd rather get shot there than my fingernails. That's the worst.
Fingernails is the worst, yeah, because I think it was my in 2024. It was my second game. Yeah, I think it was on the second game on 2024. So it was earlier this year, where I had those thin gloves, not the thick ones. It's really thin, so
Mhm.
it not much protection really. And I was popping around a corner, and there was a guy on that corner, and he fired. He was no more than a foot away, literally, and he fired, and he hit my fingernail directly. That hurt,
Yep, I
and the
know that
fingernail
feeling.
kind of bruised a little bit, and it took I think about a month to heal, if I recall.
I
So,
had that happen.
but after that incident, I was like, okay, I'm wearing more heavy duty gloves here, and not just the heavy duty on the ends, but also heavy duty on your knuckles as well, because that's the other area that's really sensitive. So, I don't think I have it here with me. No, it's not here. But if I had it, I would show you what it looks like. But it's really heavy duty, and it's reinforced here in the knuckle too. Because like how I'm holding my rifle, I'm holding it like this, where the knuckle's facing forward.
Mhm.
So if somebody shoots me point blank, it's not gonna hardly do anything as long as I'm wearing the gloves anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just things like that you got to worry about. And then I think it was my first game. Was it my first? Yeah, in 2024, I think it was my first match. I actually had someone shoot me right directly into the teeth,
Ooh.
and luckily, I had that mesh protection on. So my mesh protection is kind of custom. So I didn't buy those standard ones you get out of the store. What I did was that I took a heavy duty fabric that's really heavy duty, and then I wouldn't say sew. I think yeah, it was glued. So I glued in a custom cut mesh, which is positioned directly in front of my mouth. So I have no mesh on the face, just directly here only, and
Yeah.
it's embedded into the fabric, so you can't see it. So I'm fully camouflaged. You can't see the mesh at all. And so when I was wearing that, it's the first time I weared it, right? And again, popping around the corner and then pow, right
Yeah.
there.
I
So
used
it's
to I used to run a helmet with like a weird, like it's a hard plastic mask with some mesh there, but the way that, I had my helmet, had my goggles, and the way this mask integrated was there was a space
space right here.
just
Yeah.
between the goggles, and I'm like, no, I'll never get hit there. That
No, you
same
never get it
day,
there.
the same day, and that's one of the problems was the refs sometimes they would run their guns really hot. um they ended up shooting and it got embedded into my skin.
Oh,
And yeah, that was one of my main gripes with that field, or the refs there, is they would play, and the field limit is 350 fps, but I have my own chrono. So as I'd get teched, then I'd take it into the field, wear all my gear and stuff, and then make sure my hop up is set right. And then sometimes I'll take it to my own chronometer, and I'm at like 250 FPS rather than 350, and I'm like, what gives? And one of the people shot through my chrono once, and it registered 500, and I'm like, what? Like,
500.
you weakened my gun and you're shooting hot. And it was kind of rough because, I mean, at the end of the day, you're playing airsoft, you're gonna get shot regardless.
Yeah.
But they were shooting at levels where I would wear a pretty thick fleece tactical hoodie, And I would come back and I'd have holes in my hoodie. And it's like, 350 FPS, that wouldn't do that.
No,
But
no, I've never seen that, and at least within that range that you described.
yeah, and I'd have holes in my hoodie, holes in my arm, BBs lodged in my arm, and it's like, holy cow, I am bleeding. So from time to time I would take some breaks, but one of my main gripes with my local field was the refs, and not only their what do you want to call it? Their teching habits of how they would register their guns, but how
Versus
they
the other
play too.
players.
Because
Yeah.
I'd, you know, one thing you'll probably see in all my clips, and this is kind of, I guess, from years of using the shotguns and having to count my shots, is I'm pretty accurate. I don't need to dump a whole bunch of BBs down range to make sure I hit a guy. Usually it's, 3 shots max. Um, and them I'll dump BBs into because they don't call their hits.
Well, that does happen. I mean, we'll talk about that here shortly about people not calling their hits and how to handle the situation. I mean, that's definitely a good topic to get into. Um, but first, I'd like to see some of these more of these videos here. I see one that says push and hard push. Is there anyone in particular you want to show
Oh man,
here?
I like the push up, push up, push up. I like that one towards the bottom left. There you go. Oh,
Right
once, yeah,
there?
there you go.
All right, let's see this one.
Yeah, so my whole team is like stuck back here.
Yeah, you have to have very quick reflexes because, I mean, look at the response time.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you could kind of see like back there, my whole team was stuck, and no one wants to push up, no one wants to get shot, and I'm just like, come on, come on, come on, let's go, let's go. And it's always me and my buddy. We're like the battle bards. We try and get people we try and inspire people to
To
go,
move
but
forward, yeah.
do they go? Probably not.
This is another interesting one. Oh, can you see the screen?
Yep, I see it.
All right, so
A
you
little
see
bit
the
of a
video?
gray screen right now.
Oh, okay, let me fix that here. Second here. Get rid of this. Let's go to there. Oh, I know what happened. I need to share. Yeah, let me fix that. Give me a second here. So I need to. Okay. Yeah, sorry for technical difficulties.
Oh no, that comes with the territory.
So it's that one, this one. All right, let me know when you can see it.
Yep, I see it.
All right, so let's
A
see.
little bit of gray up top. There you go. Yeah, so I saw that guy out of the corner of my eye. Yeah, this is like towards the beginning of the night before things get crazy. And I'm conserving my energy. I don't want to go crazy just yet.
Oh,
Yeah, a teammate shot me. Thankfully, over on this field, it's like if you're hit by friendly fire, you don't have to go back. But if it's elimination and it's friendly fire, you gotta go back.
and you can see the shadow.
Exactly.
Boom.
And so it's like, I'm just gonna wait. I'm not gonna push it. I'm just gonna wait. And I
And I don't
actually that
see. Oh, go ahead.
no, that was actually one of the first times I had that pistol. That's the AAP01. I felt like I had cheat codes with that thing.
She goes with that thing.
Yeah. no tracer, no glowy BBs. It's like if I aimed at someone's head, it was going to be a headshot. So if I saw someone's hand, it's going to be a hand shot, and it was
Yeah.
great.
And it's interesting because of course, I'm sure this is quite common in those indoor CQB matches, but I didn't see anyone in camouflage.
You'll see them every now and again, but most of the time they're in like hoodies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some of the more serious guys, they'll wear camos and stuff like that. And I mean, depending how I was feeling, if I was people kind of knew if I was in a sprinting kind of mood that day because I would show up in just a hoodie, black gloves, jeans, or like stretchy tactical pants with one knee pad on, and some some like hiking shoes or something. But you know, if I was gonna be a little bit more relaxed that day, I would actually wear um, my tactical fleece. It's like a OD green. I would have OD green pants on, the kind of military boots. And that's mostly if I know that we're going to have the top floor in play,
Top floor, yeah.
because I want to have that ankle support. Because there's times where I kind of throw myself down the ramp and I slide. Um, but I'll also have a shamag and I would wrap my entire head around it and then I'd have my dye mask on top.
That's pretty cool. I mean, as you can tell, this is what I normally wear. I usually wear camo all the time, and at the field I play at, it's outdoor. Um, it's mostly prison. That's what they call it, the prison map. So it's
Mhm.
basically like an open um building with no roof on it, but basically it simulates a prison layout. And and then you can like fight outside of it, fight inside of it. Matter of fact, let me show you it here real quick. So you can see what it looks like. I have it on one of my videos. Here we go. So let me share my screen again. Let's do that one. All right, let me know when you can see
Oh
it.
yeah, that's cool.
So
Oh,
it's
is that an
there's
upstairs too?
yeah, that's an upstairs, and it has a top floor on there. Or let me rephrase that. There's no roof on this thing, so it's completely exposed. But it
Huh.
has rooms, so it has walls, right? And you do have stairs, and this is like a tower, so
Mhm.
you can actually snipe from up here. And this prison has four of them, so it's like a four squared type of building, right? With four towers, each one in each corner. So it's really unique. I mean, and I like this field because it has a little bit of a mix of CQB, but also outdoor long range. Because if you look outside, this is a pretty large field, right? So if you wanted to, you could snipe in a certain position. But if you want to do more up close CQB type of a combat, you can go inside the prison and clear out room by room. And if I'll play the video here momentarily, but you'll see me rushing in and immediately trying to take the flank position because there's a room in there where if it's not guarded, it could be completely flanked and taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Right. So I need to get there before they do because I don't want them flanking my team inside the prison. So I'll show you here what I'm referring to here in a moment.
Game on, game on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry, bud.
Yeah, that man got.
Yeah, he got hit. So if you look inside here, walls, there's a cabinets, there's stairs. But as you can see, there's no roof. So it's kind of open, but also, CQB type layout, if that makes sense. So it's pretty cool. I like the map because, like I said, it has a mixture of both. But but if you wanted to, you could focus strictly for outdoor combat. So in this particular case, the one I'm about to show you here, if I can get to it. So right here, I'm flanking, and as you can tell, I'm on the edge of the map. So I'm trying to get around on the edge, and there's an enemy player right there, and I'm trying to get around them, and by approaching them with suppressive fire, and then I immediately take them out.
Mhm.
And in this particular case, got him out.
I waited until he was just.
So now I took over this position, and I'm ready to move up and move forward. So it's a pretty cool match. I mean, a pretty cool map. I mean, if you ever decide to go to Colorado, let me know because I could definitely invite you to that field. I think you would have some fun because you
Oh
have
yeah.
multiple different roles that you can like get into. You could be long range sniper, or you can be up close and personal. I mean, it has that flexibility. You're not restricted to a specific type of gameplay. I'll just say it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's I guess one thing that I'm thankful of with my local field is even though it looks tight and it's got walls, barrels, tires, and all manner of other crates and stuff around, they adjust the layout every week. And so you have a week on a whole new layout. And there have been times where they completely opened up the entire area and the whole left side was super tight, close quarters. And the middle area, that was like if you weren't low, you were gonna get shot.
Yes,
So
yeah,
you would have to crawl, slide, roadie run, whatever you can do to stay low, you know.
yeah. But that's what's so unique. I mean, that's what's so cool about going to different fields, right? You have a different perspective, a different type of playing style, depending how it's laid out, and you have choices, right? It's not as if it's someone's backyard every single time,
Yeah.
and that's what's so cool about it. I mean, with your field, I mean, especially indoor, that's cool because it's up close. It's fast paced type of matching or type of gameplay, which is, if you're tired of doing slow and long range, you could just focus on that on the fast paced match.
Yeah.
And so it pretty cool. I mean, pretty cool that we have that type of var
Variety.
variety. Yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah.
like back in 2003, I mean, well, again, this was Kansas, so maybe other states were different back in 2003, but back then, um, I I just don't recall having a dedicated field for that. I just remember having to play in people's backyards and even inside a townhouse for one match.
Yeah.
Which keep in mind, back in 2003, we didn't have powerful enough airsoft guns to do damage inside a home. But um, that's what I had at that time era.
Yeah. Over the years, it's definitely gotten a lot more accessible. Of course, there is all the legal and law stuff that they try and do, unfortunately, because of a few unfortunate circumstances. But thankfully, we can still play with guns.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah.
Or another scenario where they replace bullets with BBs. I mean that could be possible in 20 years from now, depending on how this country goes.
Yeah.
So, but but yeah, I hear you on that. I mean, we'll just have to see how things play out. I mean, I even had, of course, I'm in Colorado, as you know, and I had a neighbor that was concerned that I removed an orange tip from an airsoft replica because they thought that I was violating law because I was removing an orange tip from an airsoft replica.
It's only to sell it, not to use it.
And it's well, shipping mainly, but
Yeah.
yeah, you're correct. Yeah. Well, I think you're correct on the selling point. Yeah, I need to double check on
Yeah.
that. I know shipping is correct.
If you're a
So
retailer and you're going to be shipping it, or if you're selling it and
selling it
shipping
is
it
shipping it,
as a
yeah,
retailer,
as a
then
retailer.
it needs that orange tip. But once you receive it, you can do
Yeah.
whatever you want with it.
Yeah, and you can play with it at the local fields as long as it meets the joules or
Yeah.
FPS limits. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The only thing you can't do is wave it around.
Yeah, especially out in public because these replicas look really real.
Yeah, at my
So
local field, so you got the main road and there's a bar right there at the top of the road. So you have to pass the bar to get to the airsoft field. And it's kind of like this kind of tight industrial, like it's obviously like a lot of auto body repair shops used to be there and have been there. And there have been times the police showed up because airsoft guns were out and about in the parking
Out and
lot.
about in the parking lot. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, we joke about this stuff, but I mean, it happens. And matter of fact, even in my local field, they, every single time we, or let me rephrase this, every day before we start playing a game, they do the mandatory briefings or mandatory um, I'm forgetting the English
Yeah,
word.
like
I'm
the
sorry.
safety briefings.
Safety. There you go. Safety briefings. I'm sorry. I had it tip on my tongue and I just couldn't say it, but my bad. Um, but yeah, safety briefings. And every single time they always say, you know, follow these rules, which they have the rules on the big giant, I think it's a metal frame, but it tells the rules of what we can and can't do. And every now and then they also say, you know, make sure that you are carrying this gun inside a gun bag when you walk on this property because we don't want people outside this property to see us, you know, seeing replicas thinking it's real and they're going to call the cops, you know. So make sure it has proper protection, a barrel bag, all that stuff. And
Yeah.
but yeah, it does happen, and it's unfortunate, but you know, it's hopefully no new laws come out of it. Cross our fingers. But yeah, I mean that's the world we live in for
Yeah.
sure. All right. Well, you do have a YouTube channel, and
Yeah.
even though it's not airsoft related, do you are you open to sharing that?
Yeah, I used to do airsoft for YouTube. I've kind of since shifted away. Um, might still throw a few things out there, but I mostly do Star Citizen in my free time now. Um, Trying to get real competitive with that, but most of the stuff I show off is piracy, stealing from
Yeah,
people,
I
and
reviewed the videos. It was mostly pirate stuff. You're bragging about stealing.
oh
So,
yeah, I try and be nice. But
yeah,
yeah, my channel is Hyena One. That's what I go by in the game.
yeah. Let
Um,
me see if I can show you here real quick.
yeah,
Let's see.
if I do stuff, it's usually like competitive PvP stuff if I'm not on my own.
See, give me a second here. Let's see, all right, excellent. Can you see the screen?
Yep.
Sweet. So this is your channel right here.
Yep. Yeah,
That is
mostly Star
nice.
Citizen.
That is nice, especially this logo. It's kind of funny because when I saw that, I was thinking that kind of looks like his pet. So,
No, not my stare eating puppy. Yeah, but yeah, this is what I enjoy doing. I do like to do airsoft, but I don't do as many videos with that anymore. And
That was funny.
you know, I do I do enjoy sitting down playing games. I love playing this with my dad too. So gives us
oh,
something to do together.
oh, so your dad plays this too.
Yep. Yeah, back in the day we used to play space games, flying games like Fighter Race. We played Freelancer back in the day, which was a space game, and that was actually made by the guy who's working on this game as well. So pretty excited for it. But yeah, most of what I do and what people know me for in this game is stealing loot, stealing ships, and
Stealing ships and loot. Because it looks
then
like you're trying to board this one right here that you're
oh
floating
yeah,
towards.
yep, and I steal it. Yeah, I'm just scoping them out here. They're basically moving cargo off one larger ship and
To
then
another.
moving it to these two ships, and they've already basically filled this one ship up. So I tell my partner here to unload on the door, and then I can get inside. Of course, people are going to be upset, but I got to make money too.
So you just made it inside the ship here.
Yep, and because it's locked down, I have no choice but to take the ladder, and then ultimately take the ship. And of
Yeah.
course, a few glitches here and there.
That's pretty cool because if people are not familiar, Star Citizen's a pretty large game, pretty detailed. As you can tell, you can board a ship, you can go through the decks, and then go to the bridge and take over the ship and fly away without changing into a new level or a new transition or anything.
Mhm.
It's all seamless.
Yeah, it's all
So,
seamless. It's obviously still an alpha. I've been backing it for over 10 years now. Um, and playing it actively for just about 10 years. I think when it first became playable, it was 2014 or 2013 or something like that.
yeah.
Um, and I say playable very loosely, but over the course of many years, it's grown into quite the game, and you know, their most of their resources are going towards the single player game, the Squadron 42,
Squadron 42. Yeah.
and then hopefully once that's released in hopefully 2 years, they'll
Hopefully 2 years.
focus they'll focus all their resources on
Well,
this.
that's if it even gets released in that time frame. I remember they were promising it being released years ago, the
Oh
Squadron
yeah,
42, but it never happened. And
yeah. They
people were, oh, go ahead.
no, they kind of changed the scope of some things and made it bigger, and it used to look like really old Mass Effect 1 graphics, and now it's like, fairly realistic looking. They did a gameplay reveal of, I guess if you want to call it, the first level of Squadron 42, and that's up on YouTube. Um, just look up like Citizen Con Squadron 42 reveal. Um, and it looked great. I'm just excited for it. Um, and it's one of those games where you can put as much or as little um, time as you want into it, and you can still have quite a bit of fun.
Fun
But
out of it. Yeah.
the way I get fun is pirating people and then fighting. And most of the time, like in this case, people were upset that I stole their ship without even giving them a fight, and then I came back
Without
and I
giving
gave
them a
them a
fight.
fight.
But you made a lot of ISK in this particular session, didn't you?
Oh yeah, this was I think around 600,000 or 700,000 AUEC. Um, and then I went back to the station where I stole it from with the hopes of stealing the other.
Yeah,
But
hope to steal in the other.
yeah, they had this like pirate event going on, and I ended up just engaging in combat with them and fighting them off. So at one point it was like a 2v1, and the ship I'm flying here, it's really not the best ship. There's a lot more negatives than pros about it, but I just like it. It's very villainous looking.
No one's looking. Kind of given a suspicious or type of bad guy type of gameplay
Oh
feeling to
yeah,
it.
no, it's something I enjoy, and you know, my you have, I guess, clans. They're called organizations or orgs for short, and I'm in a fairly large one where we're pretty high up there in PvP right now, um, boxing with some of the larger orgs and making a name for ourselves. But Yeah, it's different divisions. Um, I'm kind of in lead of the piracy division, but we got ground, we got fleet and stuff like that. But I do enjoy playing with the ground guys because it's almost like I'm playing airsoft. Got to be a bit aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive and straight up to their face sometimes. Nice. I mean, it's look at that. I mean, especially you're transitioning off in the atmosphere a little bit.
Yeah,
It's
we're
pretty cool.
still we're out in space, but couple hundred thousand kilometers, we'd be in that gas giant, and that's kind of what I love about this game is not just the combat but the visuals too. um you could find some people doing like almost photography with this game with how great it looks. um Unfortunately I spend more of my time inside of people's cargo holds rather than taking in the views, but
Yeah.
it's
Hey,
a
you got
great
to make
looking
your
game.
money. Yeah, you got to make your money. And but yeah, I mean, I used to play it years ago. I was one of the early backers, even before it was playable. I try to remember how far back. I think it was 2014, I think.
Oh,
Um,
way before that.
yeah, I could be.
2010 I think is when it first got on Kickstarter, and I
Yeah,
think I joined up around 2011.
and I could be wrong. It may be a year earlier than that. I gotta log into my account just to verify, but I know it was like really early on. That's what I remember. Before they had hangars, before they had um,
Before you could fly, really.
before you could fly. Yeah, that's how back I remember. I remember when the hangar first came out and how everyone was super excited, and even though that's all we could do is just running around the hangar, but it was it was it was something new. It was something different at the time.
Oh yeah.
And now, I mean, all these years later, even though it's been like what 10 years now,
Oh yeah.
um, they're still developing it, and and understandably so. I mean, people are getting a little bit frustrated and waiting because it's been quite a while, but
Yeah.
hopefully they finish it up so we're not waiting more and more and more, and they keep extending the life
Well,
on potential release date.
fortunately the next big update we're getting a new system to explore, so I'm
All right,
excited for
excellent.
that. So rather
Yeah,
than being in this star system, you basically take a jump gate, go to Pyro. That's the new one.
the jump gate. Oh yeah, okay, I remember that now. I remember them introducing that like almost 2 years ago on a demo.
Yeah, I'm excited,
Um,
and it's gonna be a pirate's paradise because there's no laws there.
I can imagine, yeah. No laws at all, so you can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Hopefully they release it and release it soon, so you're not retiring another computer and updating another one just so you can play it.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully we get that soon. Yeah, because they wanna implement more server tech to not only increase the amount of players per server, but they also want to introduce stuff like multi-threading so that here we got these beefy computers, and I mean, mine could get anywhere from 80 to 100 frames per second in that game.
Yeah.
Depending where I'm at, it might be lower, but here we got these beefy computers to play this super demanding game, and you know, the 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 resources aren't utilized properly, or yeah, I guess for lack of better terms, they're not utilized properly. So multi-threading will allow our CPUs to do what they need to do a little bit better
A
rather
little bit
than be
better.
a clunky mess. And hopefully with that, that'll introduce some better frame rates and more stability, and then people can get into the game and enjoy it even on a greater scale. But
Yeah. And hopefully they do. I mean, I just hope they do. I mean, that game has been developed for so long. People have been waiting for so long. I just hope they finally release it. Finally get
yeah,
it going.
yeah, but when I'm not playing that, I'm doing airsoft, and when I'm not doing airsoft, I'm doing this. Um,
So
or
you're kind of transitioning your skill set from virtual to reality, reality
yeah,
back to virtual.
Yeah, gotta be aggressive some way or another. And it's kind of funny. Like, my dad, he used to do airsoft with me, and as he got older, he's kind of phased out of it. So gotta do something with him.
Yeah, I can understand that. Because me myself, I think I'm like 93 years old right now. So I'm getting there.
No, my dad, he's 63, 64, something like that. Um, got a little bit of a kit, but you know, he's he's feeling it. By the end of the night, he's feeling it.
I can imagine. But it's okay. I mean, as long as he has fun, that's what matters.
Yeah.
All right, well, excellent. Well, um, it was a pleasure inviting you here. I mean, a great honor, and thank you for taking the time and hopefully you had a blast and if you're up to it, maybe in the future we can invite you back on the broadcast and have some more entertaining conversations.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I'd love to show more of my airsoft clips, maybe show off some of the gear that I use. Talk about why I got it and stuff like that. Something I always try and tell people is, spend the money the first time.
First
Don't
time.
Yeah, my problem was I was cheap, spent spent the money multiple times when I probably could have just bought that nice thing the one time and stuck with it. Um,
I
so
don't know.
yeah,
Being cheap maybe is the best route for certain things because you spent 25 bucks on a shotgun and after all these years it's still going.
yeah, but my Face Pro, I ended up getting a die i5, and I really wish I went with a die mask
Nah,
earlier on.
a little less marks or
Yeah,
yeah.
and fog, a lot less
Fog.
fog
Oh
too.
yeah. I recall that. Yeah. They fog quite quickly. And but in my particular case, I was already aware of that. So when I got back into the airsoft, I made sure that my goggles were properly anti-fog so I
Yeah,
didn't have to handle that.
I tried fighting with that, and uh, I ended up just going with the die mask and never had to deal with it again.
Yeah. But hey, lesson learned. That's how you go through it.
Oh yeah.
And, all right, man. Well, again, awesome. Thanks for coming on, and we'll definitely talk more and try to get you on for another episode, and we'll go over your gear set because I
Yeah,
would
that
love
would
to
be
talk
fun.
about that. Yeah, and I'll try to organize some of my stuff to show off as well. So even though I'm kind of showing my gear here, I mean, I like to also like share and compare what you got and just go through some memories of why we got it and what ended up happening and stuff like that. I mean, just to give you an example, I don't know if you could see it. Well, it's over here, but part of this is chipped off. Can you see it?
A
Right,
little bit. Oh, yep, yep, yep.
right there. So
Ha! You
the
got
reason why
hit
I was
there.
got chipped off is because point blank range, someone was around the corner and so
Well, it's not broke.
it's still hanging in there, but yeah, we'll definitely have conversations on that on the next round for sure.
Yeah, that would
But
be awesome.
but again, man, thanks again and you have a good evening and I'll hook up with you later and we'll schedule another episode. We'll go from there.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you, sir, and you have a good night.
You too.